My name is Natalie Bowen Brookshire, and I am a floral designer in San Francisco and have a daughter named Friday who is a year old. My journey to motherhood started 6 years ago when my husband and I decided we would start trying to have a family, and immediately it didn't go quickly or easily. And I went to an acupuncturist and really started with a more natural approach. And after doing that for about a year and a half, my acupuncturist actually suggested that I go to a fertility doctor. And I found someone that I really loved right away. He smelled like patchouli, and I was like, this is the guy for me. He was really wonderful, and I believed that my work with him would get me pregnant. I started doing IUIs, and I did, I think, about 6 IUIs, and then I was pregnant a total of 3 times, and all of those I lost very early on. So an early term miscarriage is something that now I'm really realizing that I had, but it was hard for me to accept that at the time because I was just about moving forward, and I also knew a lot of friends that had gone through much worse experiences with miscarriage, so I really didn't even feel like that's something that I could say that I had. And so at a certain point he told us that he couldn't work with us anymore and I really needed to do IVF. So we found another doctor and we did a round of IVF with him. And that ended with him saying, you really need an egg donor. This is just not the right approach for you. And so we sat with that for a long time, maybe a year or so, and I just kept coming back to the fact that egg donor is an amazing thing for so many women, but it just wasn't right for us. So my husband and I came to a place where we decided, one day I said, let's just go to a meeting and learn about adoption. We knew we were both open to adoption, but we didn't know really what we would feel after we started. So we called a friend who had adopted our son, and I said, what do I do to start? And she said, you go to this place in Concord and you go to this seminar, and they do it once a month. And I looked on my calendar, and 4 days later they were doing a seminar, so I went, and from the second we left that meeting, my husband and I were like excited, and for the first time we felt like we could see that we were going to have a child, and that we just knew in our hearts that was the path. And it was. From the time of that meeting to when our daughter was born was less than a year. And I know I'm so grateful because so many people have that process alone be so long. So it's just a true testament to it being the right fit for us. My advice for women struggling on the same journey is to find some sort of support. I think it's very isolating, and I really had a hard time finding any support at all. And I know there are groups, and there are so many people going through this, so they're out there, and just find someone. You really only need one friend or one something that you go back to. Another bit of advice for someone considering adoption would be to learn a bit before you decide which route you go down or which road you go down. There's international adoption. Open adoption is the most common adoption in the United States. There's foster to adopt. You can do it with a lawyer or with an agency. And we met with a couple different lawyers and agencies. So when we found the one that fit for us, it felt really amazing, and we just knew we could trust them and that they were going to be there with us through the whole thing. I also think that it's really important to have an adoption community around you, so know other families that have adopted, whether that's through an organized organization or just having other friends. I think that's important for our child and any child to just know that this is something that they're not the only one with a family that came together this way. For me personally, we have multiple people in our family that were adopted, so it's about talking about that and just having it be part of their life. Also, something I highly recommend is finding something that's bigger than you, stronger than you. I'm not religious, but I became a much more spiritual person because everything I've learned through those practices and being still and really listening to myself and learning about something bigger than me has given me the strength and the faith to really go through something that is just so beyond difficult.